Hi students, I'm Una.
And I'm Scott.
I'm a UK OET teacher.
I'm also an OET teacher from the UK.
We've been teaching students to pass their exams for many years.
And now we're excited to help you pass your exams too.
This is the Swoosh English OET Podcast.
Let's get started.
Are you struggling with your OET exam preparation?
Are you unsure how to reach your target score of a grade A or B? Let Swoosh English help you get there.
Go to www.swooshenglish.com or click the link in the description for your free OET complete guide to writing.
Everything you need to know to pass your OET writing step by step. Go to www.swooshenglish.com or click on the link in the description below.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Swoosh English Podcast, here with myself Una
and myself Scott. It's going to become a thing, isn't it?
No, we're going to cut that out now. Anyway, so today we're doing a bit of a different podcast. Scott has some experience of being an OET interlocutor. So today I'm going to be his interviewer. He is going to be the interviewee. And I'm just going to ask him some questions about his experience of being an interlocutor for the OET exam. Go through some questions about his experience there, any encounters that you had with students, and some tips, of course, that you have for our students to make them feel ready and more comfortable for their speaking test experience on the day of their exam.
I hope to give you lots of useful information from a first-hand experience I had with actually doing some interviews with students on the day. Can I just confirm that I'm not going to be asked about any medical interviews today?
No medical questions.
Oh, good. All right.
No. Okay, so let's just get straight into it then. So what is the role, first and foremost, of an interlocutor for the OET exam?
So the interlocutor is just simply someone who is taking the part of the patient on the day of the examination. So they are an essential part of the role play process. They actually have no part in assessing your performance on the day. So don't be thinking about the interlocutor as the assessor. That is done actually after, whenever your recording is done, and the recording is sent to OET themselves, where it is assessed by two trained assessors. They're simply there on the day to take the part of the patient and to get the most out of you on the day of your examination, and to just show off your linguistic skills and your professional knowledge of OET.
Very good. Okay, so I suppose we should just ask when and where, how did you get into the role of an OET interlocutor?
So whenever I was teaching English in Australia, in Melbourne, in 2018, a college I was working for ran some OET examinations. So the OET manager at the college simply asked me, would you be interested in learning to do some OET interlocuting? Because I have my background with EAP, IELTS and Cambridge as well. So I said yes, and then we went through a training process where I was familiarized with the test itself, went through some role plays in the sample situation, and also learned about the criteria as well, in case there were any questions about from students about how the process went on the day. So I went through the training, and then I started doing some of the invigilating as well as interlocuting for OET at the college in Australia.
Excellent. So that was a good experience for you to get
It was a
involved
really interesting experience as well, because it's actually very enjoyable on the day. Believe it or not, I actually quite enjoyed doing the role-playing experiences. I wanted to get the most out of the students on the day as well. So yeah, it was definitely something very useful and interesting for me.
And were you one of these interlocutors that really tried to make the student at ease? How did you make them feel at ease?
Oh yes. I think that's essential for being an interlocutor, but I guess we'll get into more about that in
Okay, so what was your day like in general? What was the organization of your day as an interlocutor?
So as an interlocutor, it's actually only half of my role I had with OET, because I was also an invigilator as well. So the OET test was done in one day. The morning was spent invigilating the writing, the listening and the reading examinations. Then there was a break, and then we just simply got prepared with our case notes, with our recorder, with our written notes, and our list of scheduled candidates. We simply went to the students who were waiting very nervously in the waiting room, called them out, took them to the room, went through the process of interlocutor, and the role plays lasted 20 minutes in total, and then went through them again until all the candidates had gone
About
through the
how
process.
many students would you have on one day?
I had 15 students A maximum
20.
15 students in one day. Other days a bit less, between about 10 and 12 in total. So
That's quite a few,
it was quite a long day. It was about 4 to 5 hours of interlocuting back to back with 1 hour break.
Okay, so you did mention that you enjoyed the experience, but what did you enjoy most about the
I
experience?
just really enjoyed meeting the students as well, because I did spend a little bit of time before the formal process of beginning the role play, just talking to them, asking where they're from, how they felt, and just trying to make them feel at ease as possible, because every single student was nervous to a varying degree. So obviously meeting different healthcare professionals from different backgrounds, different countries in the world, and just understanding exactly how the OET experience worked and the information they were going to give, because ultimately I just wanted the students to pass at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So you wanted to make them feel as comfortable as
Yes.
possible. Definitely. That's nice. So what was the biggest challenge for you then as an interlocutor?
The biggest challenge for me was, I guess, just trying to make the students feel as comfortable as possible, because when you're doing speaking tests, as you probably know, that nerves are not conducive to a good speaking result. So it was just, I took it upon myself to make the students feel as easy as possible going into this experience, and then also just trying to elicit the language that they needed when someone may be struggling to ask the relevant questions, so that they would get the highest score as possible, because ultimately I want them to pass.
Are you struggling with your OET exam preparation?
Are you unsure how to reach your target score of a grade A or B? Let Swoosh English help you get there.
Go to www.swooshenglish.com or click the link in the description for your free OET complete guide to writing.
Everything you need to know to pass your OET writing step by step. Go to www.swooshenglish.com or click on the link in the description below.
Yeah, exactly. That's good for students to know, isn't it? That, the interlocutor isn't there to trick them at the end of the day.
Trick them or be nasty or be mean, just be friendly and smile.
Yeah. And did you have any particularly challenging or interesting candidates or any stories that you have for us?
Well, I unfortunately had one student of mine who got so nervous on the day that they were really struggling to give their response. They told me at the very beginning of the day that they were incredibly nervous, and I tried my best to make them feel at ease, and they did come around eventually, but unfortunately I do think their score may have been affected because of the nerves. So that was challenging for me, because obviously I wanted to try and make them pass the examination as much as possible, but I also don't like seeing someone not do as well as they can, because when they really got into the flow of the test, they were excellent at it. I know it wasn't because of a lack of their medical knowledge or linguistic skills of speaking. It was simply just their own personal insecurity with doing the test, and I felt so bad about that. But interestingly as well, I also had an Irish candidate in the test as well, which is very, very strange. Thinking, oh, an Irish candidate, don't they speak English very well? Well, simply they were taking the OET examination to get them extra points for their visa application to Australia. So that was very interesting, talking to an Irish candidate who obviously aced the test, being native language speakers.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure that would have put him or her at ease,
yes.
Also given that you were from Ireland too. So, as an interlocutor, how can you best serve the candidate on the day of your experience, on the day of your test?
Just being really down to earth, being really honest, being really friendly and smiling, because as I've said time and time again, you don't want to add any extra pressure to the student who's already undergoing so much pressure on the day of the examination. So do your best with making them feel at ease, feel comfortable with your accent, your delivery, smile. Do your best with giving the information with them as well, so that it replicates a real role play. You don't want to, like we always tell the students to do, make sure that they don't treat it robotically or not like a real healthcare interview, but the candidate as well, the interlocutor, also has to treat it professionally and give that information as well to make it most like a real medical conversation as much as possible.
Very good. And of course, avoiding speaking in that very fast Irish accent of yours.
Oh, am I doing that right now?
No, not right now. But when we speak, we tend to speak very fast, so you really avoid that situation.
Just being incredibly understanding and patient, and being as professional as you can as well, because there is a set script you have to go through. You want to make sure that you can do it as well as you can.
Very good. And what can candidates do then in their OET preparation to be speaking test ready?
Well, there's many things that they can do. First and foremost, they have to, I recommend getting some experience in your own time with actually going through a real live, as close to possible situation in doing one of these role plays. So obviously they should get mock speaking practice with a qualified OET teacher, or even someone else who can assess it with them, so that they understand exactly what the dynamics of the day of the examination is. That's very, very important. Failing that, of course, do it with a speaking buddy, and just try and recreate the live role plays as much as possible in order to feel comfortable on the day with doing these timed role plays. Also, in addition to that, make sure you're getting feedback on your role plays too, and make sure obviously that you're able to fulfill as much of the criteria as possible so that you're obviously going to do as well as you can. In addition to that, I also think it's very important that you treat this like a real, as close to possible, real mock role play as possible. Don't see the interlocutor as an examiner. See them as the patient. Obviously, it's going to be hard. You're going to be in a formal setting, which is very far away probably from the clinical setting which you'd be doing these role plays in. But imagine them as a patient. You are the doctor. Treat them as such. And I feel like the conversation and the role play will just flow a lot more naturally as well.
And you have more empathy.
More understanding. Of course, the interlocutor will do their best as well to respond like a real patient, therefore making you probably respond as a real healthcare professional. Also remember, I know it's going to be very hard to do this, is just be as relaxed and easygoing as possible. Don't rush through it. Don't feel as intimidated as you probably do. Go through those nerves. Let that energy come across very positively with you so that you can give this response as best a chance as possible.
Very good. So any top tips then for our candidates?
Top tips, make sure that you study in your own time. Go through the mock speaking experience and make sure you get plenty of experience with going through these role plays in as close to possible live clinical situation as possible. Get the feedback on your responses, and remember also to treat the interlocutor as a real patient on the day. Finally, don't let your nerves get the better of you.
Great. So any final comments you would like to give us about your OET experience as an interlocutor? Anything the students would benefit from knowing?
I pretty much covered it there with all that information.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us today, Scott, and giving us some information on your experience as an interlocutor for the OET speaking exam. So that's it today, guys. We hope that you can benefit from this and make you feel more comfortable for your OET speaking test experience. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again.
Thanks a lot, and best of luck with the OET exam.
Bye-bye.